All right, welcome back to the program. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching Morning Cafe. And this morning, we want to focus on Mount Kenya University and higher education in general. Tomorrow, they will be marking the 27th graduation ceremony. Major milestone, but of course not just in numbers, but the evolution of one of the fastest growing private universities in Kenya. But milestones like this, of course, come with a lot of questions. How is the institution shaping higher education? And of course, what kind of graduates are being released to the market from Mount Kenya University? And with that, I have with me in studio a high-level panel of scholars and decision makers from the university, of course, to take us through what they're doing at the Mount Kenya University and what is different 27 years in since the very first graduation. Karibu sana, gentlemen and lady. I have Dr. Henry Yatich, the very far, that is right, Principal Graduate Studies and Research. In the middle, that is Professor Mary Mogwechui, Educational Management and Leadership, and of course, Professor Wanderi Peter, Principal Corporate Services, Communication and Alumni Relations at the Mount Kenya University. Let's start with you, Daktari. 27 years in, what is different this time around, and what strides have you made since the very first graduation at the Mount Kenya University?
Yeah, thank you very much for having us in the studio today. I think our graduation ceremonies have been very dynamic in terms of the themes that we're focusing on in relation to the dynamic changes within the academic arena. And if I want to retrospect the 26th graduation ceremony, for example, where we were looking at the internationalization of higher education and how the university contributes to the global workforce, where we are seeing now MKU even exporting our own students in the nursing program to the European market, to be very specific, in Germany. And in this year, because of the issues to do with AI, and AI is here to live with us, and we as universities and higher education institutions, we felt that we could not be able to have a better theme for this 27th graduation ceremony, other than focusing on the role of universities, especially the higher education, in catalyzing that innovation for the purposes of also supporting what the government is as already put in place for us under the BETA transformation agenda, where we are looking at the digital superhighway and the role of the creative economy. We believe that even with the challenges of the Gen Z, this innovation and the creative economy is able to help us as universities come up with ideas and strategies to mitigate the issues of unemployment. Yeah.
And when you talk about university, what are you doing to set yourselves apart from the other existing ones as Mount Kenya University?
As MKU, I think one of the things that we pride ourselves as MKU is how we leverage the use of technology. Okay. And we want to believe that we are the best in the sense of we always are very dynamic and able to run with what is coming in with regard to in terms of how we are prepared for this. In terms of resource-wise, I think MKU also is one of the universities that has expansive network in terms of the presence in East Africa, even not just in East Africa, but even in Central Africa, where we are able to reach out and try to market our products. As MKU, also one of our key driver is the distance learning education, where we believe that you do not have to come to the university, but you can learn remotely. And I think we've run with that program, and I think we have quite a number of students in that program, not just within Kenya, but you can learn wherever you are. And we believe that that sets us apart in terms of looking into the future of education.
Great. And we'll be coming into that, of course, as we progress with this conversation. But Professor Mugwe, how would you assess your progress so far with this 27th graduation, right from the very first graduation you held, your assessment?
Yeah, so thank you so much again for having us here. We have really been doing well, as Dr. Ari has said. We have moving, just increasing in numbers. And maybe a good example we can give is the graduation we had, the 26th graduation. We had the number of those who graduated were around 7,000 to 7,500 towards that number. And this graduation we have added to 1 more thousand, meaning that we are still growing. So as he has said, through the many mechanisms that we have made, we can see that we are still growing, and we believe that the future belongs to us.
Yes. With the theme this year that you've set for your graduation, and of course you have a different age groups who are coming to Mount Kenya University, because some coming in to further their studies. We could see millennials, I don't want to call them boomers, because I don't know if 60-year-olds are coming to further their studies. Are they?
Yes, they do. It's open. It's open lifelong learning. Yes. So the question is, are they also adapting to these new changes? If you're talking about technology, the digital age, the AI, how are they finding that, trying to fit in to that culture? Wow, that's a good question. And well, what we have, yes, once, this was not what they were used to. Now we are in another generation on where AI is the way we cannot wish it away. And so once they come, we give them a lot of support. We have several trainings helping them on how to navigate through the systems. And also we are quite also impacting a lot in terms of ethics, when in the use of the AI. So we support them through and through. And when they decide to come back, I think this is something we need to do. When you are 60 and you decide to go back to school, it's because you are ready to embrace what is happening. They are trying, and we are getting there. Yes.
And somebody might be watching and wondering, a 60-year-old coming back, when they come back, are they looking to just expand their mind and their knowledge of things that are happening, or are they looking to also still get in the job market? What exactly is pushing them, the drive behind coming back to school at that age?
I would say it's all kind of, we have all of them coming with different intentions. And maybe we cannot just group and say this one, they came in because for this. But some of them, they come in because they just want to self-actualization. They have been looking forward to get to school. And so maybe they also want to be good examples to their generations that to come. Others, they still believe that there's something they can still do with that knowledge. We agree now these days 60 is not very old. There's still much that can be done. Imagine that person with that knowledge getting back to where they come from, the kind of change they can make to the society. So we embrace all of them in whichever, whatever the goal it is, they are there.
All right. Professor Wanderi, I want to give you a chance to also give us your assessment. 27 years in, how would you assess your progress as an institution?
Thank you very much. As my colleagues have said, we appreciate this opportunity to be here this morning to share a word or two about our university with the community. And I'm happy to indicate that my talk will more be inclined towards partnerships within the university, because the university has one advantage, that we use partnerships, and this is well reflected on our strategic plan. The 2020-2029 strategic plan allows us to use partnerships for the purpose of meeting the obligations of the university, for the purpose of in the area of areas of teaching, in the areas of community engagement and research. And therefore, I wish to indicate three things as I start off. That MKU has come so far up to where it is. One reason is because of the stewardship. Stewardship that you find at Mount Kenya University is quite unique. That starts from the board of directors, cascaded down to the council, to the Senate, and to the deans and everybody, all the way to the students. I would even wanted to talk about the student leadership. For the longest period of time within the university, we have very robust programs on leadership of the students. They are trained to be leaders, and I'll come to that later on. And it's the same leadership that is reflected very well within the entire university system. It's the same leadership that has led the university to what it is today. And at that point, I wish to say that it's the same leadership that has attracted a lot of partners to come to the university. Even as students and stakeholders come to the university, it is because of the leadership as well as the partnerships that are seen working with us at the university towards the meeting of the mandate of the university. Namely, we have teaching, as I said earlier on, we have teaching the area of research and the area of community engagement. Two things come into perspective. That in the course of the time, the university has become very internationalized. Mount Kenya University, as we speak today, and I have carried this for the purpose of sharing with you and with everybody, we are very well renowned in terms of mainstreaming our programs on what is called the Sustainable Development Goals. If you would know, the Sustainable Development Goals are the 17 areas of development that the United Nations member states in 2015 decided this is where we want the world to be in 2030. And the universities have been called upon to be leaders and change agents in this. Mount Kenya University has very strongly subscribed to that. And as we speak, we are a global hub for Sustainable Development Goal number 9. This is on industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And when you look at all the goals that we are talking about, the university is very comprehensive in the academic programs that we offer. We have engineering, we have medical programs, we have education, we have basically all the areas. And in this way, we are able to align ourselves with most of the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. And in this way, we also try to let the partners know our areas of interest, and they will align themselves also to the goals that we have adopted within the university. In this way, we are both international, but also the partnerships that we work with give us the opportunity to make our students have a global view. And as I finish on this, my colleague, Dr. Yatich earlier on talked of linking our students with opportunities outside the country or within the country, opportunities of employment. This is where he talked about nurses who are linked to opportunities in Germany. We have signed an MOU with organizations in Germany that work with our nursing school so that our students would know what is needed, which skills are needed, not only in Kenya, but across the globe. In that way, and this is only one program, I would be able to talk about all of them if there was time. So as our students finish and graduate in nursing, they know that there is an opportunity in Germany. This comes along with the university starting a program in German language, because for one to qualify, one has to be at level B2 in German language proficiency. In this case, by the time one is graduating, and by the time one is finishing the internship, one across the university knows where wants to be. And this is what has helped us to get to the point we are.
All right. Asante sana, Professor. But we'll be coming back to you, Dr. to tell us what makes the students stand out. Professor is talking about, of course, what makes the university stand out in terms of partnership. And you know, even as you talk about you being able to send it out students to the job market. But we'll be coming back with that after this break.
It's the people. We can have the software, we have the IT skills, but without the people, which is our greatest asset, we cannot be the company that we are today.
We can never afford to sleep or blink because we are charged with a huge responsibility to ensure there's what we call security of supply of product, not only in Kenya, but in the region.
Last year we were the top position 1 in terms of BWD and gender, and we've done it consistently, I think, for 2 or 3 years now.
We do and certify quality parameters before we receive and after we have received. And at various stages of transportation, we ascertain that the product is meeting the required quality standards.
We take staff to different categories of training: firefighting, first aid, HSE committee, incident investigation, to just make them well equipped in their operations and to make sure that they are working safely at all times.
At Mount Kenya University, our rise as a leading institution in higher education is rooted in a culture of excellence, inclusivity, and student-centered service.
As MKU fraternity, we are humbled the journey we have walked this far and are now even more confident to face the future.
Our journey is amplified through global and regional partnerships.
When I was in China, one of the companies that I visited promised to give us about 2 robots, and I hope that the interest will create in our ICT training in robotic matters.
As we celebrate our 27th graduation ceremony, we do so with confidence. Mount Kenya University, unlocking infinite possibilities.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching Morning Cafe, and with me in studio I have a panel of scholars from and key decision makers from Mount Kenya University. We're talking about MKU in itself in regards to the 27th graduation that is set to happen tomorrow at the MKU main campus. And Dr. you were talking about what makes a student trained from Mount Kenya University stand out. If you're taking that nursing student out there, that lawyer out there, as much as the institution, has positioned itself as, a leading private university, then what makes that student stand out when they go out there in the job market?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think what makes our students stand out in the marketplace is basically the training that we carry out with them. And when I talk about the training, I'm talking about the integration of service learning into the curriculum. I know Professor Muko will talk about it later on, especially what they are doing in the School of Education. But primarily what we've done for the last 3 or 4, I think from 2020, we've tried to ensure that all our programs embrace the practical-oriented approach, where the students, a percentage of their training processes is done with the industry. So if I was to pick from with the nursing students, for example, you'll find that the rigor that is put into that curriculum in terms of them being attached to the hospitals that we are partnering with for purposes of training our students is not just sending the students to the hospitals, but also we have a team of dedicated staff members who follow up with this follow up on these students to ensure that what they are actually doing in the hospitals reflect the actual training that they are also given in class. Other than that, we've also realized that it's becoming also a requirement for all the other programs. And as I said, she'll mention more about that, is that we are now rolling out the service learning component, especially in most of our programs. And so we believe that, because one of the challenges that even the labor market actors have accused us of, if you read, for example, the report by the Federation of Kenyan Employers, they have always been complaining about the universities and the higher institutions of learning churning out students into the labor market who are not able to comprehend. And in most cases, even the turnaround time for those students to acclimatize in the workplace also cost the organizations. I'm sure even for TV47, for example. So what we are doing is to ensure that with this student, when they come to TV47, for example, if they're hired, they stand out even not just at their workplace, but from the point of interview, from the point of presentation. So we teach them mostly about the soft skills of life, other than also ensuring that they ensure that what they've learned in class is translated into practice, through the real practice in the workplace. And so we work with industries We have quite a number of programs currently in different projects. Allow me to mention one project, for example, that we've been rolling out since 2020 called Access Project. We are working with Kenya Association of Manufacturers. We are working with the Kenya Private Sector Alliance. And we normally try to ensure that our students try to solve real industry problems together with the industry. So that gives them the leverage in terms of also not just learning, but applying the skills and the strategies they've learned in class and the ideas in the workplace. And those kinds of things makes them stand out, not just when they seek the employment, but also for purposes of self-reliance. Yes.
All right. Professor Mugu, of course, Dr. is saying you're going to tell us more about what you're doing at, as educational management and leadership in the institution to ensure that these students are, sticking to the standards even as they go out there in the job market.
Yeah, thank you very much. One of the things is that in the university we have a strategic plan that defines, including how the teaching is supposed to be done. We have one to 2029. Again, when we get to the classroom, our learning experiences, it's no longer how it used to be that you are a lecturer. You just go lecture and you move out. We are moving with our students and trying to bring the practical kind of teaching where we are able to help them to experience the real life situations and bring them to the classroom through case studies. And also he has talked about the community service learning. It's there, especially in education. We have the school practicums where we take our students out for school practice and we keep on following them many times just to see that they are totally refined. Another thing that we have also been able to do is that we have a very, very strong quality assurance office, a directorate, where they ensure that whatever it is being done, it's in line with what is needed in the market. Anytime we also do a lot of surveys to get the feedback from the stakeholders, the market. Okay, the labor market analysis we do, because we also want to understand what is it that the market is looking for, so that we can also align our teaching and also our content to what the market is looking for. So this is what we do, and with especially what he has talked about, issues to do with soft skills, we understand it's not just about the content, it's also about, are you able, do you have the competence to transform the learning into the doing? So this is exactly what we are doing in our classrooms.
Great. Professor Onderi, of course, you're talking about MKU being, the fastest growing private institutions, but, what is driving that growth? What is the backbone of that growth? I know you talked about partnership, but partnership aside, you're growing. There are other private institutions which have been in the industry for quite some time, but, you're flying, like you're not even walking anymore. So what is the backbone of that growth?
Thank you very much. Earlier on, I used the word stewardship. And stewardship is a global word and is a very broad word, but it relates to the leadership of an institution, the way things are done within an institution, how processes and procedures are conducted, and that's what makes the university to move very fast. We have our own processes and we commit to them. We commit to every point of the process of the university, right from the time that we are talking of, we are starting a new semester, and therefore we are planning for the programs that will be taught and who are going to teach. We are planning for the activities the students will engage in. We are planning for the persons who will be involved. This, because touches on the students. First of all, I would wish to say that when the stewardship on academics is good, the students become the best marketing agencies for the university. Today, although we do marketing, we use different methods of marketing. All indicators are showing that our university programs are best marketed by our own students. I would even tell you of cases that a student I know who is now at the university had been admitted to another university, public university, and the parent was teaching there with a lot of support to the student. But she requested that she would want to come to MKU, simply because of the marketing capacity of the person that she knows and the information they give about the university. For us to be able to do that, we have to do it right, because there is no way you make the students to market your university or the institution based on fake factors. It has to be real. I want to give 2 examples. In the medical school, our own student, like I know this year, they went to Malindi and did a medical camp, obviously under the supervision of their lecturers, and bringing on board the stakeholders. When this is indicated that it's done by the medical school students, it gives a clarification and evidence good enough to show that when the medical practitioners and dentists board came to the university in 2020, and they went to all the universities and appraised all the medical programs, and since 2020 they declared MKU's program, medical program, as the best in East Africa. Ever since, we can show you, and even before, we can show you, or anybody who is interested, cases that led to that. And I'm sure even now it has become even better. When our students go on medical camps, and I'm only picking one case of one program, when they go on such a medical camp, they are communicating to the world on the goodness and the perfect training that they have gone through. So this is a communication to the stakeholders at all levels. And this is not only something that is being done by medical school students, we have even the law students. Law students, we had a memorandum of understanding with Murang'a County, where the law students went to train farmers and the landowners on legal issues to do with land ownership in the county. So when you go and communicate critical things to the community and to the world, everybody gets to know you. And this is one of the things where we are saying that we are transiting the theory into practice, not only within the university, but in the community, internationally, wherever we are, what we teach and what we are doing, both the students and staff is clearly seen. And this is what attracts people to the university.
Great. Professor Mugwe, there are concerns that even as you know, there is a scale-up, they could compromise academic rigor because as you continue to grow. So how are you trying to ensure that you're keeping quality intact even as you continue to grow in the institution?
Yeah, as maybe I mentioned earlier, I talked about that we have quality assurance office, and in it we have also quite trained so many internal auditors who make sure that whatever is being taught is in line with the CUE expectations. We keep also, revamping our curriculums. And like now, we are waiting for those who are coming 2029, and we have already now revamped according to the requirement of the CBE. We also have clear mentorship and advisory programs. As I said, we keep on working with these young ones and also those other learners to just ensure that they are able to do what is required to be done. Our professors, our lecturers, they are also highly trained. And also when it comes to the ratio of the lecturer to the learners, it's not that huge. So there's kind of almost a personalized kind of attention. Then we also have the inclusive kind of education. We are so well aligned and we have them on board. So we have all the programs that enable them to sail through the education. We talked about that we are very well endowed when it comes to ICT, ensuring that we are able to reach most of them, whether they're in practice, they are able to meet them online. In terms of assessment, we're also careful to ensure that the kind of assessment that we are giving is also aligned, as we have also said, in practical kind of experiences that they are going to have. Other issues is about Mount Kenya University. As the number goes up, we are also careful to ensure that issues of, you know, the stories that used to be there, missing marks, that a person is not graduating because of the missing marks, missing cuts. They are no longer missing. Those are the things that we have taken care of. So as our numbers go up, is because we have these clear, you know, procedures and guidelines that governs on how education is being implemented in the university. Yes.
And Dr. you mentioned something about this digital age and how you are enhancing technology in the institution. But we also know that MKU, even as you try to include people, you know, from Kisumu who are just studying online, but when it comes to exam, this digital age, we talk about ChatGPT as well. How are you ensuring integrity when in terms of, you know, exams? Like, you know, they are not cheating, but they're actually answering questions like people who were in class.
Yeah. Sometimes I keep telling my friends, you cannot eliminate cheating, especially among university students, but you can try and reduce them.
It's impossible to
eliminate. The simple reason for that is that they'll always find queer ways of cheating in the examinations. But I think in addressing your question, in light of the technological advancement, the digital age, let me start with the online programs, where we even offer examinations online. You can actually sit for examination at the comfort of your sitting room. And some people will always ask, how would you manage that? Can you not be able to side chat your friend and be able to maybe borrow some ideas to put into the question paper or into the answer booklet? So what we've done is we've invested heavily in proctoring technology, whereby we keep revamping and ensuring that actually it addresses the currency of the challenges we are facing. As I said, students are very innovative, they're very creative. They'll always come with different ways of trying to circumvent the process. I'll give you a very interesting scenario that I faced in one of our examinations, or rather that was brought to our attention, whereby in our previous proctoring package, you know, we had not set the requirement for the proctoring software to be able to assess, for example, the facial recognitions of the candidate. So what students would do is have a photo of himself placed in front of the screen. So the proctoring software would be able to see that photo and see that this is actually the student. But you see, the challenge with that photo is that it's not moving like an ordinary student. So what we've done now is that they have now advanced the same proctoring software so that if your photo is still for a certain amount of seconds, because we expect you to be moving and typing your answers, then the system will automatically close out. If you try to move to a certain browser, the system will automatically detect that and close you out. And you will not sit in that exam. So the exam is automatically closed out. You will come and appeal. We will review the footage because now there will be a recording of the same. So that's one way we are trying to eliminate the online examination cheating. For our postgraduate students, one of the challenges we've had is the use of ChatGPT, the Gemini, and the rest to beat the process of research writing. The beautiful thing with that is that we've invested in one of the plagiarism software, Turnitin, and of late Turnitin has been able also to integrate within the software the issues of detecting AI. And so what we've done also in addition to that is every time before your thesis or your project is published, especially for the postgraduate students, it has to be run through the Turnitin software. And usually when you're running through Turnitin software, it will give you a particular percentage of what is likely to have been generated by AI. And what Turnitin will tell you as the supervisor, for example, is that you need to investigate further this document. And so what we normally do is now through the human aspect, or from the human perspective now as the supervisor, we can be able to check. As a supervisor, for example, I can be able to tell that the language that the candidate is using is too advanced, and I can be able to tell that this is not his language. And therefore, you can be able to try and check even the references, because sometimes with AI can give you fake references. And we've had students who have tried even to publish work, and the publishers have said, no, we cannot even trace, we cannot even check the references that you've provided. So learning from those experiences, we have also developed, I think actually it was just last month, we have developed a guideline on the use of AI for postgraduate students. So it's in the process of approval, but other than also leveraging the existing softwares in the market to also beat the AI issues that students are taking advantage of, we are trying to manage the situation. And we're also trying to train our students on ethical use of AI, because you cannot wish it away, but you have to use it to enhance efficiency in the writing processes, and also to help you even do some modeling and such like. And lastly, on that aspect is that also we are happy that the University Council has also approved the integration and the institutionalization of AI in the university teaching and research processes as well. Yeah.
All right. Professor Onderi, of course, you're at the Center of Communications and Alumni Relations at the institution. And I know maybe you are in a position to tell us something that, people quite don't understand or misunderstand about the institution. Because, we hear a lot of things about other universities. Or this one is quite, this is not trustworthy, this is not this. But what would you say with how you interact with these alumni, people who've left, students that are there, something that people misunderstand about Mount Kenya University that you would want to demystify?
Thank you very much. It's a good question, and it's very useful to talk about the alumni, because if we train, they leave the university, they go out as alumni who are ever in touch with their alma mater. But this doesn't just happen. It has to be planned and be effected effectively. So we have a directorate in charge of alumni relations. And there is a director. And the director, as I talked of stewardship, the director works under the principal corporate services, who works under the vice chancellor. So matters alumni are very easily cascaded from the vice chancellor to the alumni themselves. Even today, as the students go through their rehearsals today, the director alumni will have a whole session of addressing them today. If she would, so she's a lady, so I will talk of if she would have had a chance tomorrow, she would. But tomorrow's day is not possible. So since they are all of them there today, during the rehearsal, she gets all the time, a whole 30 minutes to address them. And she gives them the support. And she relates with them in various ways, including taking data and communicating, and they will get to know her. And at the moment as we speak, within the last 1 year, we have seen a series of activities that involve the university and the alumni. We have had webinar series where the topics are requested by the alumni, asking the university as the alma mater to give them support in matters mental health, in matters on capacity building in particular areas. And some of these engagements are physical, like last weekend, the Vice Chancellor and the whole team of both the areas that work with the alumni, they were in Eldoret. We have a cluster program where the country is divided into clusters now. There is the what we call the Eldoret region and that. And all the alumni had been invited to a physical meeting. And the university takes care of that. And the discussions there, or it's kind of a workshop where they're all relating with the university and talking of their experiences. This has happened the whole year. We have even had one for the former chairpersons of the what we call the Mount Kenya University Students Association, MKUSA. The leaders, the former president, were also gathered in Nairobi, and they all had a relationship with both the directorate and the vice chancellor. In this way, we are able to maintain a very close relationship with the alumni. Remember, earlier on you asked me about the question on marketing of the university and ensuring the numbers are going up. Another aspect of marketing the university and letting people know about the university is the alumni. With our over 100,000 alumni across the country, across the world, we find once they are related with their alma mater positively, they will be able even to engage others. They will be able to bring on board other persons. I would talk of the chair of the Alumni Association today, who is, earlier on you talked about PhD persons or students who are above 60. He's a retired officer and he is now taking his PhD at the university. But he is also at the forefront in organizing all the alumni activities. He is spending a lot of his time and resources bringing the alumni together and giving that voice of the alumni to the university and to the community. And this is what we have been doing, and it is well reflected on our strategic plan.
Professor Mugwe, there's this question on of cost. How affordable is the institution? And you know, for somebody who is watching for, you know, somewhere in Wajir, Garissa, and, you know, is hearing about Mount Kenya University, and they're thinking about going to further their education has been quite hard. So how affordable is Mount Kenya University for somebody who is not financially privileged enough to further their education, but you tell them that, you know, for us, we are giving you a chance to do 1, 2, 3, and as you answer that, do you also offer scholarship opportunities at the institutions?
Wow, thank you. Mount Kenya University is one of the very affordable universities. And what we have is that our fee is very affordable. We have also, the university also has come up with a system of where you can pay in installments. You give the first, I think it could be 60, 2020, and that one becomes very easy for a student to be able to enroll and, you know, and move on with education. I think in comparison, we could be the very best, very affordable. You've asked about scholarships. Scholarships are there, and you know, they are open to all. And so what you just need to do is just to write that you need these scholarships, and actually, you know, they are open. And most of them are really getting them. So this is a very affordable university. And therefore, they just need to come and try it. They just don't even have to try. Let them join. And this is one of also what I would say that also, you know, brings in this growth. Once they come in, they find this is actually where they can be able to afford through what they do. Yes.
Prof, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to talk about affordability and the scholarships.
Okay.
As a partner, director in charge of partnerships, I was once involved just before COVID, not even these recent times, where some organizations who came to the university and they wanted us to do an MOU through the Vice Chancellor. And the MOU required that the people they represent out there in Kenya, they be given a special consideration because they will come to the university as a university of choice. So they will do the marketing for us, and they were saying all our members of our association, going to thousands, this will be their preferred university. They came and we sat, we had a round table meeting, and we showed them our fee structure in terms of how much and how do we allow students to pay. There are some universities, and you do know this as a Kenyan, where you have to pay everything upfront. It could be a high amount, it could be a low amount. But if it is upfront at the beginning of the semester, it might have a limitation. When you consider the amount that the university MKU charges or the tuition, you find it is both lower and also students are allowed to pay across the semester. So it's only by the time they do the exam, they should have completed the payment for them to get the examination card. But about the scholarship, in my office, we have Mount Kenya University Foundation, which is under my office. And we have a scholarship program, as Dr. Mugwe correctly said, that is open for all students. In fact, right now in the office, the last aspect of analysis is being done for the students who are going to benefit with the scholarship program in September. But let me also quickly mention something else, that the university management pays attention to information that comes from the community on persons who would want to study, but they are unable because of various disadvantages. I'll give you an example of a student who had been admitted for medicine in one of the universities in Kenya, but she could not be able to raise the money that was needed, even after getting the support from the government. After many years of staying at home, somehow she managed to get to the media, and the information got to the chairman of the board of directors. And the student was called to the university. She came with her document. They were analyzed by the medical school, and she was found to be qualified to join. She was given a full scholarship. Right now she is in third year. And her children are being taken care of by relatives at home alongside with the university. So in this case, when she is at the university, actually she comes to my office to collect her money that she needs to have when she is at the university. Full scholarship includes all the payments and other parts of this, maybe pocket money that she needs, as well as the university taking care of her children back home. In this way, she is able to study, and we hope that since she is the second one of that category, we have another one already serving as a medical doctor who benefited from that such a situation, courtesy of Mount Kenya University Foundation.
All right, great. And as we wind up, we've come to the tail end of this conversation. Daktari, as your parting shot, for those parents and students watching and they're thinking of joining Mount Kenya University, what would you say to them, and how can they apply? And for those who want to also do their due diligence, about the institution, to just find out more, aside from what we've talked about here today, how do they do that?
I think you're just reading my mind, because I just wanted to weigh in on that and say that for a student, a parent, or a guardian or a sponsor who is watching us and listening to us this morning, I just want to add to the fee aspect about 5 items that I think they should consider. One, our admission process is very seamless, very easy, and I can almost guarantee that for a new student who is applying to join MKU, you can actually get your provisional admission letter in less than 10 minutes. Because even the payment of the registration fee is online, it's automated by our system, it's able to reflect and send you the admission letter once it is approved by the admission officers, who are always on standby. So that is one of the areas that I would say you don't need to go and queue and wait for an admission letter to come. You will get the provisional letter within 10 minutes. Then what is only remaining is for you when, during the time of reporting, you come for us to verify your documents. That's the only thing that I can tell them. Number 2 is also the resourcing that the university has done. Prof has mentioned about the stewardship of the university, right from the board. And I think Mount Kenya University is one of the universities that is adequately resourced in terms of the equipment, in terms of the labs. For, in particular, the Center for Malaria Elimination Center, where we have the state-of-the-art equipment. And it's open to also all our students who want to do research, who want to do their practicums, and so forth. So that is another key area. Number 3 that I also want to talk about is the...
Doctor, I'm being told that you need to summarize.
Yeah, it's also our service charter. We are always there to listen to our students, as Professor Mary has said. And also MKU, lastly, if I can summarize, is that it's a home of nurturing talent. So if you have any idea, any concept, any talent, MKU is the place where we can be able to nurture that, and we can support you.
Dr. Henry Yatich, Principal Graduate Studies and Research, Professor Mary Mogwe-Chui, Educational Management and Leadership, and Professor Wanderi Peter, Principal Corporate Services, Communication and Alumni Relations. Thank you so much for making time for us to have this conversation ahead of the 27th graduation at the Mount Kenya University taking place tomorrow, and TV47 will be broadcasting that live right here on all our social media platforms as well at TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. My name is Anne Odida. That brings us to the end of this conversation. You're watching Morning Cafe. Good morning.